Hi, before I start this video, I made 2 English wheels. Unfortunately, I'm not English. And not only that, I'm Canadian, so I'm French pretty much. So what would you call this? A cheesy wheel? Because French people like cheese? So I'd like to hear that in your comments at the end of this video. Thanks. Hi everyone. I'm gonna show you a little technique how I made an English wheel. I made a handheld one to help me remove all the dents in my Porsche 356. Not a traditional kind of English wheel guy, so I used a pair of dolly wheels and I made a clamping device so I could clamp the wheels together. I'll show you both of the ones I made. First of all, this is the first one I made, which was really good, nice and sturdy, stays on track. I'm gonna walk up and show you closer to the camera. And it has the dolly wheels, kind of slightly rounded, but not mostly flat. I made a system like this to tighten it. I used an old shop smith handle, and I just basically used that part to use it so I could to tighten it into the grip. It works really well. Where you could hold it well. It worked really well on the roof on the Porsche. It did phenomenal when I had the car upside down, because of the weight of this kind of pushed it and helped it remove all the dents and waves in it. I'm practically going to have any filler in it. It'll be more like a heavy primer and a sand and maybe a few bits of just lightly skim for scratches and just very slight waves where I couldn't get to the gutter area. This thing worked phenomenal. It just saved the roof. Also, I'll walk this back. I'm not going to use this to demonstrate on the hood because it works well, but I would have to have the hood upside down. And I mean, it's fine, but I'll show you the other one I'm going to use. Put this here. Next one is this one right here. This was made with a vice grip. You can buy these vice grips anywhere. I basically made this piece right here, and I put a couple of my old casters from an old dolly, and made it so it could go past the halfway point in my Porsche, and that helped quite a bit too when I was straightening out the Porsche. You know, when it was past using that heavy one, I used this one for the places I missed and for the places that were hard to reach, that it would make it hard. Now this one's not as strong, so it has a tendency of coming off like this when you do it. So if you're careful and just go straight back and forth and not try to go anywhere, you know, try to move it onto the side, it won't come off. But you got to be really careful when you do this so you don't gouge it when you run it, because you could cause more damage than good when you're using an English wheel. So I'll show you a small demonstration. I oiled it up because it was quite noisy. Let's see if it doesn't make any noise now. So when I do it, I find where the wave is, and it's pretty much all gone because I used it a little bit earlier ago just to see. And I just basically hold it, and I kind of give it a little tension up, holding it, and increase the tension in it. So I'm going to open it up and close it, and it's just in place. And there was a little wave right here. I mean, you can't see it in the camera. You're not going to ever see a wave in a car unless you really have it up against the side. But I'm just doing it this way, and it removed this already, this little wave I had right here. Also, what I did with this hood, it was so heavily pitted, I use a product called All Metal, which is an aluminum base, like a plastic filler, but it's super strong. It's made for rust repair. A lot of people back east use it for cars that have holes in the body. It's just something to think about when you have heavy pits on the body. This hood was really bad. So I just skim coated and I sanded it down. And what's kind of good about it, it kind of showed me my high and low spots after I sanded it. So it's showing me the sins of this hood. Not too bad, but it's getting better as I go. So I'm running this, going slowly, trying not to hold the wheel sideways. I'm trying to hold it straight through. It's like a ninja. So when I feel like it's starting to come off the track, I just let go, put it back in, and just go ever so slightly. I try to give it some, I pull it up. You gotta use a little muscle. Not as strong as I used to be. But if you're careful, you can just holding it like this. I should put a handle here so I can hold it better. But it works pretty good. So I just wanted to show you this. I'm not going to get into the straightening of the hood. Quite boring. That's something you're going to have to do on your own. I just wanted to show you a tool that I made that works really well to take out dents and waves in a car. You know, I'm trying to stay away from filler. It's gonna have filler no matter what. I mean, every car will have a little bit of filler, but I'm trying to get away from it almost totally. So this tool helps me. I think it would work really good if you had a hood to practice on or a panel. I would think it would work really good for those cars that get hail damage. Might roll out the dents in the roof of a car. I just thought, just making this, I didn't think it was going to work, but boy, it sure does do a good job. Also, I want to ask you guys a question. If you guys are following me and if you're looking at my videos and you're seeing the repair of the Porsche, as I'm doing the Porsche, I want to paint it. It's originally ruby red, which your purist Porsche people will say you got to keep this original color. Unfortunately, this car probably doesn't have the original. It doesn't have the original engine. It was missing pretty much every part inside. I try to keep as close as 63 as I can with parts that have date codes on it, but doing that is kind of crazy because I'll never find the original engine for the car. I haven't ran the Cardex in it to see what the number is, but to find that motor will be close to nothing, So car's not original. Ruby red's the original color. I don't really want to paint it ruby red. I like to paint it like a burgundy, a little bit darker maroon. I even like the green grays, not a gray, but it has a tint of blue in it. Maybe like a off beige, but not beige, but more like a khaki color. I'm really thinking a different color out there. So I would like to hear your suggestions. I know some of you guys say, how evil of you to change the original color, but this car wasn't the original color when I got it. It was rust and it was orange. And but like I say, I'd love to hear your comments. Appreciate it, and God bless, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.